Hello my fellow citizens, and welcome to the 26th episode of Star Citizen FM. My name is Dr. Hawk, and on behalf of all of the community members here, I would like to welcome our new community members, that which we have now reached over 200,000 Star Citizens. So pat yourselves on the back, give each other a handshake or a wave, or whatever it is you deem appropriate, and welcome the new members to the forums. If you're not already aware, we picked up quite a few new brothers and sisters in arms during the 24-hour livestream courtesy of CIG. While there were many shenanigans to be had as well as fun times, there's some important points to go over, and I'm going to be focusing on the news aspect first, because we want to keep this drama-free and not unlike Fox News. So the important point first, we are now over 200,000 Star Citizens. That, as Chris Roberts said himself, is a large number of evangelists. As such, there are both good and bad consequences to this. We're going to be seeing a lot of new introductory forums, a lot of new faces, and as some of the senior members might hate to know, a lot of questions that have already been answered being asked once again. What is the best way to introduce these new Star Citizens to the forums, as well as Cloud Imperium Games and Star Citizen in general? Maybe point them in NetAndy's guide at Star Citizen. Maybe take them under your wing and answer a few questions themselves. And to the newer members, always you can come into chat roll, ask questions, ask the community members that are there 24/7 who I'm pretty sure do not sleep. If you need a question answered, as I said, there's always NetAndy's guide to the Star Citizen universe, as well as far as I can tell, he's also building a video. No, wait, that's Andy B. Andy B is also building a video list. So if you need anything from the forum, you can check there. And as I said, feel free to ask a question in the forums. All we can do, senior citizens, is be patient and help these new citizens settle in and feel comfortable at home. So to the new Star Citizens, welcome to the forums, welcome to the community, and I look forward to bringing you the news to the best of my ability in the upcoming months. Speaking of which, one of the first things I should probably go over, if you weren't aware, the Star Citizen forums, or Robert Space Industries forums, have undergone a major makeover. Out with the old and in with the new. The new website is actually courtesy of Zane Bien, as well as the guys over at Behavior in Montreal. So if you see Zane or any of the guys from Montreal in chat roll or in the forums, be sure to give them a pat on the back and congratulate them on their hard work. An interesting point of note, during the 24-hour live stream, which I will be covering, Zane Bien pretty much worked his ass off for the entirety of that show. As you can see here, he is pictured both napping and, well, being ambushed. So give props to Zane and the guys over at Montreal for their hard work for both maintaining the website during the live stream as well as their continued work on improving it and making it a better experience for all of us. Speaking of which, that brings us to the main event, the 24-hour live stream. Now, some of you are already aware shenanigans happened. And while there have been forum posts by myself and things being said in the forums, I honestly don't think that's of worthy news right now for Star Citizen FM. There are a lot of good things to go over, so I'm going to try to focus on the positive, and for future note, we'll just avoid any situations that involve shenanigans in the future. So let's start off with some of the juicy features. For those pilots looking for a budget ship, well, not even so much a budget ship, but a ship they can reliably count on, as well as something they need in a pinch, the Avenger was revealed. A former UEE patrol ship, this ship will be good in introduction roles as well as potentially a trainer ship for new pilots welcoming themselves into the Star Citizen universe. It's a modest vehicle allowing 10 tons of cargo capacity, up to 4 upgrade slots, 2 modifiers, as well as 1 TR5 thruster and 8 TR1 thrusters. You get 3 Class 1 hardpoints as well as 2 Class 3 hardpoints. Finally, with a crew of 1 or 2 in the trainer variant, this brings the craft to a very modest 32,000 kilograms. You can pick up your Avenger in the RSI website or in the future when the game releases, and you can buy it at all markets that would otherwise sell the Avenger. Secondly, but by no means any less of an announcement, we have the Idris, or Idris, and I do hope one of you corrects me, or all of you, Corvette. This is the largest ship to be revealed to date, as well as I think the most amazing, and not just for its looks, but for what was achieved during the 24-hour live stream. When the Idris was revealed, there was initially 100 available for purchase. Chat roll and community, being you guys, purchased these all in a period of 9 minutes. I remember even being there, and some of you, we were counting it down. There was 100, then 90, then 80, then 70, and pretty sure by the end of 9 minutes they were all gone. So much so that 50 more Corvettes were released for sale, and those disappeared in about 5 minutes as well. In total, with each ship totaling about $1,250, you guys raised for RSI $700,000 in 15 minutes. I don't know anybody that makes that much money. Aside from big guys like Bill Gates and probably Mark Zuckerberg. But yeah, so $700,000 in 15 minutes. Give yourselves a pat on the back. Your credit card companies and banks must love you. And that's not even being patronizing. Good work. That's a lot of money. We've reached several stretch goals, which I will go over in a minute. But combined with the events of the live stream since it started, that also equals out to a total of pretty much a dead-on $1 million. Like, wow, I have no words for that. Good job, guys. Pat on the back. But let's get on to the Idris. I'm still confused, and we'll talk about money in a second. So this Corvette was initially available during the first live stream, and the first variant was the military variant. The variant for sale for this period was the Mark II Peacekeeper variant, or think of kind of like the Coast Guard variant. While I do believe there is a reduction in a slight in terms of firepower, you still are essentially getting the same ship. It has a cargo capacity of 100 tons, plus there's the Idris Peacekeeper, which it actually has more cargo capacity, so 120. So military, more guns, Peacekeeper, more cargo. In fact, you probably could use this as a really heavily armed trader. There's an upgrade capacity of 20, which I'm not yet sure what that details, and it also has room for 2 single-seat fighters, either the Aurora 300i or Hornet equivalent ship. While we are not yet sure of the engine, we do know that it has 8 TR4 thrusters, as well as 8 TR3 thrusters. So probably just to account for the sheer mass and size of this ship. As for what kind of engine or how fast this thing will be going, it is a Corvette. I don't think you'll be winning any races in this thing anytime soon. Finally, comes to the hard points, the most fun part of the ship. The military version has 6 Class 5 hardpoints mounted with Bearing M3C ASA turrets, 1 Class 6 Bearing M5C STS turret, and 2 more things that I think you might find of note. 1 Class 6 A&R Plowshare anti-ship missile launcher, into what capacity, not yet known, and my favorite, 1 Class 8 Klaus and Werner Destroyer spinal mount railgun. Say that 5 times fast, but a spinal mount railgun. I like to think that this thing is almost like a Death Star now, just with the sound of that. So, will we be seeing some ship-to-ship fighting in a larger capacity? Maybe frigates versus destroyers? Maybe in Star Citizen? Don't know. But with a spinal mount railgun, I can guarantee you that anybody that gets in front of that is going to have a bad day. And I'll even give a challenge to a Star Citizen. If the game comes out and somebody can kill a Hornet or a smaller ship with that, because I'm pretty sure it's not, anti-fighter, props to you. I'll owe you a steak dinner. And then with the Idris Peacekeeper, it changes out its slots for 7 Class 5 hardpoints and then 1 Class 6 hardpoint, losing the Class 8 hardpoint for the railgun. But maybe you could modify it in the future, maybe not. We'll see. So for $1,000 to $1,200 you have yourself your very own Corvette, whether you're pretending to be the blockade runner of Star Wars, or just want to have a nifty place to hang out with your fellow Star Citizens. You'd for sure have a ship that I think is worthy of space travel as well as exploration. However, just in case that the Idris is not big enough for you, you may be trading out a little bit in terms of guns, but there is one other option for you. It's called the Starfarer. And this is where I think we need to give props to Chris Roberts and the fellows over at CIG. They're not just making a dogfighting sim, and it's not just space combat. In fact, I'm pretty sure this is what will cause fellow EVE players like myself some excitement. There will be a need for economies such as fuel, trade, etc. And the Starfarer is supposed to fill that role, being a massive fuel tanker. While we don't have any further details like we do the Idris or the Avenger, I can definitely tell you that we will have something in the future. But for now, there is some concept art you can check out, which should be shown above. And if you're looking forward to doing fuel trade, and I know there are already clans out there who want to specialize in refitting and refueling, and you know who you are, then here's the ship for you. Wrapping up with some of the new ships shown, we actually have a few more tidbits that were shown. One of the main highlights that I took away with was the 300 series spacecraft showroom. The above video should be showing all the different variants of the 300i. If you guys remember, in my last episode we went over the brochure as to what the different variants did, what they do, etc. This one will give you a bit more of a aesthetic look as to what each ship does. There's the 315, the 325, and the 350 all there for your viewing pleasure. And I've included a full link to the entire video below. Also, on a related note to the 300i, there was a special director's cut.
Hey everyone, I'm Martin Galway. I'm working on the director's cut of the 300i commercial right now. I've got to get it done in less than an hour so we can get it onto the website.
Sounds good. Do you think you'd be able to show a little bit for the camera here?
Sure.
Or is it something more? At origin, speed is more than a number. It's a state of being. Speed is a shock to the soul. Speed is a call to action. Speed is... Introducing the 2943 300i from Origin Jumpworks.
How's that?
I think you're going to cause some very, very squealish...
I'm only doing the soundtrack. There's some really great guys working on the rest of the stuff. All the visuals, obviously.
Well, props to everyone there that is working on the soundtrack,
Absolutely.
and props to your work as well. Thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
That was Martin Galway, with him being so courteous and gracious enough to invite me into his home to see the director's cut at the time, which was not yet to be shown to you guys, which aired during the 24-hour live stream. There's a link below in the description that you can click if you'd like to see the full, glorious director's cut of the 300i. I wanted to take this quick moment to actually give thanks to Martin Galway, as well as all the hardworking men and women who are working on the sound aspect of Star Citizen. We haven't yet actually heard a large portion of what Star Citizen will sound like yet, but with the little tidbits here and there, and with something that I was actually very privileged to see, I can guarantee that you guys will be hearing some pretty awesome stuff in the future from Martin Galway and his companions and co-workers. So next time you get a chance, and if you see Martin Galway in chat or in the forums, be sure to give him, a thumbs up or a pat on the back, and anyone else involved with the soundtrack. Also, and then there's going to be a lot of alsos, we also have a star map demo. If you're looking at the above video, you can now see that the star map is now at least in some form or function. I would say in early alpha, and it looks perfectly operable from at least what I can tell. Maybe there's features that have yet to be added, but you can check out the above video clip to see what the star map looks like. It'll also be in the bottom in the YouTube description for your viewing pleasure. Lastly, if you're interested in checking out some of the character art and the process that goes into making it, you can check out the 9-minute clip featuring Mark Skelton, and probably one of the better clips featuring him. There's also some good footage floating around from him in the 24-hour live stream. But that video should also be in the bottom of the description as well. So all in all, it was a very interesting and very profitable live stream. As mentioned previously, there were some shenanigans that were involved, myself included, and I made up forum posts, but that's beyond the point now. What matters is that I do believe that CIG has shown that they are a lot more open door and forthright than anyone could have ever imagined. We are very privileged enough as fans to have them be able to host 20 or so of us. As far as I know, there was originally 8 of us planned to be there, and by the end of it, there were people I was meeting, and I'm still trying to remember names and faces. So in that case, forgive me. If anybody is interested in following up with more fun stuff, CIG is planning on being on Gamescom in Germany on August 24th. So concierge members and subscribers will be invited, an hour earlier. And if you're interested in just showing up, then you're invited as well. As far as I know, our fan favorite Pleasure will be there, and I'm pretty sure Legante, Kinshadow, and even rumors of a feathery raptor named Zane. So if you'd like to meet fellow Star Citizens as well as hang out with CIG in Germany, be sure to check out Gamescom for August 24th. As I said, there's plenty more I could go over from the 24-hour live stream, but not all of it actually involved a CIG or even the game in general. A lot of it involved other things that are better to be discussed another day, and hopefully we can learn from these events. Since the 24-hour live stream, there has actually been very little in the CommLink, and rightly such. They had a good time, and now everybody's probably getting back to work and focusing. There is a new system unlock based on Leir, which is pretty much a lawless system as far as I can tell. So if you'd like to check out Leir, and I'm pretty sure I'm saying that correctly, you can view that in the CommLink. There's also 2 new episodes of The Human Perspective, system unlock of Nemo, not the fish, as well as a letter from Chris Roberts himself as a thank you for the 24-hour live stream. Finally, within the last 2 hours, there's also an update from The Observist, which, as far as I can tell, is a new fan service written in fiction to describe the systems that we will be experiencing in Star Citizen. If anything, it almost reads like a travel brochure or vacation planner, so for the hell of it, I figured I'd read it in voice, or try to make it somewhat interesting. Hey there, traveler. There are millions of sights to see in this universe, and the team at The Observist are here to make sure you get the best traveling experience possible. To some, it's a shining beacon of the UEE, and the true center of humanity. To others, it's just a cool place to visit, but regardless of where you land at that debate, it's Terra. Introducing Terra. If you haven't been to Terra, which we're going to assume it's true since you're reading us, we offer our condolences. When you break Atmo and descend toward the capital city of Prime, you'll quickly realize why. To be blunt, vistas of Terra are the reason why humans created art. The skyscrapers of Prime set the standard of human architecture and design for the modern age. But we're not here to tell you about Terra from the sky. We'll leave that for the Galactic Guide. You want to hear about the facts on the ground. Prime positioned all of its landing facilities far away from the city to minimize approach traffic and facilitate a better overall flow to their flight plans. Most of the ship's shops populate the immediate vicinity around Prime's runways. You can find upgrades, weapons, repairs, and even some hangar options. If the names Center Mass, Omnibel, and Hardpoint Guys mean anything to you, odds are you already know if you want to shop there. We would advise you to leave your ship alone for a second and take a look around. City Center. When you step off the monorail in City Center, every instinct in your body will be firing like mad to look up and marvel at the sentinels rising towards the heaven above you. Fight that impulse and look down. It's so easy to miss, but you'll find the bronze-colored cornerstone near the monorail platform. This is a piece of one of the first buildings ever built on Terra, back when it was first explored in 2516. City Center is literal as well as it's metaphorical in its name. This is the seat of power for all Terra, and for some, it's hopefully where the UEE Senate will move someday. So it's pretty. Kinda stale if you aren't into politics, but you can visit the Governor's Council if you are. We would recommend ditching all of that for an exclusive lounge called Turing's Stop. The owner, Corso Flynn, can only be described in words that aren't appropriate for a public periodical such as ours. But if you can bypass him, Turing's a fine place to brush against the upper echelon of Prime, maybe even make some contacts. And if you don't, at least you'll get a cool drink and a nice view. The Block. If you've got a taste for the grittier side of life, you can bounce back onto the monorail. The last stop is where the masses live. Gone are the pristine streets and towers of glass. This is where real life is happening. The Block is an arrangement of living cubes, well organized but certainly a rougher slice of life. Thankfully, Terra General is nearby in case you need to get patched up. There's a dumper's depot if you've got salvage to sell off, but the real find out here is the little hole in the wall joint called Bones. The man himself can always be found behind the synthetic bar. By far his own best customer, our contributors have created a running pool to see if any of them can show up where he hasn't phased them out of his mind. Old Bones makes a hell of a bowl of cacho, though. It's places like Bones that make Prime the real gem of the UEE, so power this down and power up that ship to get yourself over to Terra. Sure, it's great to hear us talk about it, but you've really got to observe it for yourself. I don't know about you guys, but as much as I like home, I would rather explore a place that's full of danger, sharp things, and possibly explosions and laser beams. So if you'd like to check out the reading from the Observus, you can find that also in the CommLink and in the description below. So that pretty much wraps up the coverage that I had planned to talk about. Some of you may be disappointed. There is a lot more, and actually I had quite a few, and I still do, video footage and camera footage that I had taken during the 24-hour live stream. The issue being is I took that all on an iPhone. Some of you may have noticed with that little clip of Martin Galway, it's not the best. It's a shaky camera. I may put it up in a special Star Citizen episode, but looking at it now, I'm actually really kicking myself for not investing into a proper camera, or at least a cheap iPhone or something like that, because it's just terrible bad. In fact, I think even the Martin Galway interview, one of us had covered the microphone with our thumb, and what ended up being at least a decent sized interview actually had to be cut in half, if anything a third, just because of that microphone being covered. So I'll try to upload those later. As said, some of the others just involve shenanigans, including massive chocolate bars and lots of booze. So we'll get around to that later. For now, again, I'd actually like to take the opportunity to thank the people who managed to send me out to CIG. It wasn't CIG sponsored as they would have liked to make me believe, but Rogue Squadron, primarily CCC Dober, Cornhorn, Zane, Legante, and a few others who I do not yet know who are behind the scenes, I have to thank for helping getting me out to CIG Austin. You guys are friggin' awesome. If anything, this is one of the best early birthday presents I could have ever received. Every fanboy, always wants to go visit their favorite developer and their favorite, game studio, and you guys made that possible. As such, I have decided I'm going to try to throw away a few pennies in the bank here, and I'm going to try to make my way down to Austin again for October when they host CitizenCon. Right after GamesCon, I believe it'll be on October 11th. It will be the first anniversary of Star Citizen's inception, and I would like to try to be there and do some further interviews, hopefully this time with maybe something better, like an HD GoPro or something handy. Who knows, maybe on my birthday here I'll go buy one. Splurge on something that actually might be useful. But again, thank you very much, CCC Dober, Corn, you guys are friggin' awesome, and the first time I heard about this I didn't really believe it was happening. Also, I wanted to make my usual announcements to any clans or people out there that would like to be highlighted on Star Citizen FM, and we can maybe go over some highlights or talk about things you've worked on, or if you just want to sit down and talk about Star Citizen and talk about what you think the game might be or what you want it to be, give me a call. I do know there's a few people there that I've been waiting and I still haven't got to them, so for that I apologize. But we'll definitely try to get around and make that work for you in the future. And lastly, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment. I always like the comments. I read all of them, even the ones that point me, out to do better, like that one time I had the mouse flying around during the Chris Roberts interview. That won't happen again. So if you enjoyed this video, like it. If you really liked it, even favorite it. If you'd like to subscribe to my work, you can always click the fuzzy little hawk on the lower left corner. And as always, like I said, leave feedback in either the comments or the forum. So again, thank you guys very much. This has been Dr. Hawk. You guys all take care and fly safe. See you next time.